Have you done any reading, Jack?
I have, Liam.
Oh, we've got some book reviews. I'm excited.
Only one.
Okay.
So, for some reason, I usually read quite a lot on camp, but I didn't finish the third book in Scott Sigler's Infected trilogy.
Okay.
So I've only got Infected Book 2, which is called Contagious, to talk about.
Right.
It's good.
See, you were doing really well in the last couple of episodes of your book reviews, and now I feel like we're backtracking a bit. Can you tell me more about why it's good?
Yep, I can, Liam. So, in Book 1, they established that this infection thing exists that aliens brought, if you remember, Liam.
Yeah, of course.
Aliens sent the infection to us.
Yeah, of course.
In the end of Book 1, they sort of deal with the first wave of it.
Yeah.
And then Book 2 picks up pretty quickly after the first one.
Yeah.
I think it's, within a week or something.
Okay.
You get all the characters that were interesting, get back into it, and it sort of expands on a lot of the relationships the characters are building.
Yeah.
Like, there's a really interesting plot between someone in the first book who was a bit of a baddie and the person in the first book who was the goodie.
Yeah.
And there's like a friendship that builds between them, and you get this really interesting look into how both their characters think.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like all the character stuff. And then I like the fact that instead of just being the same infection again, the sort of alien entity that is making the infection happen is like, okay, cool. They know how to deal with it. I need to change. So it introduces this new type of infection that becomes contagious. Hence the name of the book, Liam.
It makes sense.
So it adds this other element to it. And like you get a new character introduced who is infected, but sort of she can lead other infected people and make them do what she wants.
Okay.
And she starts to rebel against the aliens. Like, not in a, I'm going to kill the aliens, but in like a, I don't need to listen to you anymore. I have all these people.
More defiance.
Yeah, so it's kind of a cool angle on it.
Yeah. Just out of interest, what's the third book called?
Pandemic.
Okay, so we can kind of predict what's going to happen in that one then.
I mean, so here's the thing, right? I'm not going to say any spoilers or anything, but the interesting thing is that the end of book 2 is not a twist per se, but it's a shock. Like, stuff happens that you don't expect to happen.
Yeah.
And also happens in such a way that I was like, how the fuck is there a third book?
That's interesting then. So
yeah, that's...
the writing style of the song, because obviously I've read Nocturnal before by this guy, Scott Sigler.
Yeah.
And I think, if I remember rightly, you said the last book, so the first one in this trilogy, was more a little bit more like horror than Nocturnal was.
Yeah, it's less, because Nocturnal had that whole feeling of like, oh, there are monsters.
Yeah. And
they look like giant snakes and giant wolves and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sort of the horror element to it stays pretty good in this one.
Okay. And what kind of are the elements that you're enjoying the most of this trilogy so far?
I mean, at the moment, it's probably the characters.
Okay.
Like, that's the sort of draw for me.
Yeah.
And it's interesting as well that the books are like, I don't know, the time period between them is quite short, but you still get a lot of character development off, I don't know what you call, off page, sort of.
Yeah.
Like, in between the books. So then you're sort of playing catch up. You're like, oh, what's happened that's led these characters to this point?
Okay.
I don't know, it's interesting. It's like, again, if you enjoyed Nocturnal, if anyone read Nocturnal or enjoyed Infected, it's worth reading Contagious because it's really good.
How would you kind of pitch this trilogy, like an elevator pitch? So say someone's listening and they've not heard of this guy before, they've not read any of his stuff before.
Yeah.
You've got like 2 sentences to try and get their interest.
I'd probably say it's a good
yeah
example. No, I don't know. It's sort of, I want to say it's like zombies, but it's not.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a zombie infection story.
Yeah.
But without the stupidity of zombies.
Okay. So give me if you like this, you might like this kind of comparison.
If you like 28 Days Later, you might like this.
Okay, cool. When you said like not stupid zombies, that's what my mind first went to, was 28 Days Later.
Yeah, I mean, this is different to that, but it's got similar vibes in places.
Okay, cool. Out of 5?
I can't remember what I gave the first one. I think this one's better than the first one.
So whatever the first one was, plus a bit.
Plus 0.5.
Right, excellent.